Have you done this question 1, 2? Please look
Yes,
at it
yes.
and tell me.
Yes, sir.
And question number 3 and 4.
Sir, we have done till question number 4. We have to
Oh,
also question 5. We have to start question 6.
we have done this
6,
all.
yes.
Are you sure that we have
No,
done
sir,
this?
question
So we
6
have
we
done
have
till
to
5.
do. Question 6 we have to do.
All right.
Sir,
All
5
right.
till 5, so till 5 we have done.
Okay. Okay. Let's start with question number 6. The diagram shows how the volume of the left ventricle changes over a time period of 1.3 seconds. Right, guys? So this is showing the volume of the ventricle over the time period of 1.3 seconds, right? From here till over here.
The diagram shows a volume of the for 1.3 seconds.
Sorry.
How many complete heartbeats are shown in this diagram?
Yes. How many complete heartbeats are shown?
So 2?
Very good. 2 heartbeats are shown. Look here.
Yes, sir.
If I bring this line over here, this over here, right? So this and this line, they are equal, right? From here till here. From here it is starting, here it is ending, right? So this is showing 2 complete heartbeats. Right, boys? And everyone?
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
Next thing, use the graph to
Sir?
calculate how long one heartbeat takes and show your working.
Sir, can I
Now,
say something?
sorry.
Sir, also, like we can see the PQRS key points over there.
Yes.
So
Now,
like there are
in
total
this,
of 2
in this,
complete ones.
yes. Now, in this, they have not shown PQRS and T waves because they have just only shown the ventricle volume. Look here on the graph, on the y-axis, what's mentioned? Volume of the left ventricle only. All right. Now, boys, let me tell you one thing, that one heartbeat takes 0.8 seconds. One heartbeat takes 0.8 seconds, right? Now, if you see from here, the volume of the, what is happening to the volume of the ventricle? It is decreasing. You see, this on the y-axis, this is what volume of the ventricle. This is when the ventricle is contracting. This is over here, the ventricle is relaxing, right? When the volume will increase, at that time ventricles will be receiving blood, right? And when the volume is decreasing, at that time ventricle will be contracting. So look here, this is contraction, this is relaxation. So 1 complete heartbeat. Understood everyone, right? So
Yes, sir.
from here till here, look, 0.1 to 0.3, right? So this is one, you see this, you see this one contraction, this is the relaxation up till 0.4, and then 0.4 to 0.8 is the contraction. So total 0.8 seconds. Understood everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now, next one, use your answer to be 1 to
Sir.
calculate the heart rate. Yes.
Sir, like it also depends on the heart rate because like if a person's heart rate is like 100, so we have to divide by 60. So if we do that,
Yes,
so it will give us a
exactly.
different timing
Yes,
for one complete cycle.
then the question will change, right? That is a different kind of
Yes,
question,
sir.
right? That will be doing exercise. because 100 heart rate is during exercise. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Now, use your answer to B1 to calculate the heart rate and show you're working. Now, how much time is it taking? 0.8 second we just decided, right? Now, how many seconds are there in 1 minute, boys? How many seconds are there in 1 minute?
60.
Very good. And how much time for one heartbeat? 0.8. So you multiply 0.8 with 60 and that will be your answer. All right.
Yes, sir.
Next one, boys. Describe what is happening between points A and B on the graph. Look here, boys. This is point A. This is point B. The volume of the ventricle is decreasing. So what is happening? The ventricle is contracting and pumping the blood out of the heart. Right, boys? Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Next one. Describe how the valves between atria and ventricles help to ensure a one-way flow of blood through the heart. Now, guys, let me show you guys. This is heart, right? This over here is the tricuspid valve, and this over here is the bicuspid valve. Now, these tricuspid valve has 3 flaps, while the bicuspid valve have 2 flaps. Right, boys? Now, what happens that when the ventricles contract, these flaps they close the valves. When the ventricles contract, these flaps they close the valves, and when the valves they shut down, then what happens? In result, the blood will not flow back to atria. The blood will not flow back to atria. All right, boys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, make a copy of the graph shown above on your graph. Sketch a line to show the volume of the right ventricle during this time period. Now, boys, you know that right ventricle, it pumps the blood to the lungs only, right? And lungs are not far. And the right ventricle walls, they are thinner than the left ventricle walls. Right, boys? Now, what you will do, you will draw, you see, a line almost, you see, same way, just a little bit above this one. Why? Because the volume will be a little bit, you see, higher in the left ventricle, in the right ventricle, because of the, you see, the walls of the right ventricle, they are thinner. Right, boys? Right, boys? So you will draw exactly the same way, exactly the same line you will draw. All right, boys?
Okay, sir. Sir, I
Now, next question, boys. Question number 7. Heart surgeons may stop heart beating during operations. While this happens, blood is pumped through a heart-lung machine that oxygenates the blood. The diagram below shows a heart-lung machine in use. Now, boys, let me tell you that if you guys remember that I taught you about the bypass surgery. Now, when there is blockage in the coronary artery, at that time they take a vein from the leg. I taught you why do they take the vein from the leg? Because the vein from the leg, they are long veins, right? And why they only take the veins? Why don't they take the artery? Answer is very, very simple. They take the vein because veins, they are near to the skin. They are easily extractable. They are easily removed. Right, boys? So what they will do, that you see they take the veins and then you see they put it into the heart, right? Bypassing the, you see the area which is blocked, bypassing the area which is blocked. Now during this whole surgery, during this whole surgery, what they will do, they will remove, they will, you see, this shut down the heart. They will stop the heart from beating because they are performing surgery. If they will keep the heart beating, the surgery cannot take place. Now, what happens was that at that time the body needs oxygen and also needs the nutrients. If the body will not get the oxygen and nutrients, then what will happen? The person can die. So for that purpose, they put this heart lung machine. Now, what do they look here? This is superior vena cava, this is inferior vena cava. They are taking the blood from both of these blood vessels, and blood is being collected over here in this machine over here. This is called as the reservoir. Then the blood from the reservoir goes into this portion of the heart lung machine, where this machine, it, you see this part of the machine, it oxygenates the blood. This machine, you see this part of the machine, it oxygenates the blood. Now once this is oxygenated, then it goes into the pump, and then pump sends the blood into the aorta, and aorta takes the blood to the whole body, which is the oxygenated blood. All right, boys. So this machine is called as heart lung machine because this is performing two jobs. It is performing the job of lung as well, and it is also performing the job of heart as well. It is oxygenating the blood and it is also pumping the blood to the whole body. All right, boys, understood?
Yes, sir.
Now name the structures labeled A to D. What is A?
Sir, left aorta.
Left atrium. What is
Left
left
atrium.
atrium? Okay, boys. Now, what is B?
Bicuspid valve.
Very good. It is bicuspid valve. What is C?
Semilunar valve.
So, which semilunar valve?
Left.
Sir, the aortic valve.
Aortic semilunar valve.
Yes, sir. Or the
Right,
left
boys?
semilunar valve.
What is it called? Aortic semilunar valve, right?
Aortic
Because
semilunar
it's
valve.
present in the aorta. All right. Then what is D?
Right ventricle.
Very good, right ventricle. What is E?
Vena cava. Superior vena cava.
Very good. It is superior vena cava. And what is F?
Aorta.
Aorta.
Very good. F is aorta. All right, boys. Now, the part A, we have already done it now, and part B as well. Name the structures labeled A to D, we did this. Name the blood vessels E and F, we did this. Now see, the heart-lung machine is used so that surgeons can operate on the arteries supplying heart muscles. These arteries may be diseased. Name these arteries and explain how they may become diseased. Yes, boys. How do the arteries? What is first of all? What is the name of the arteries of the heart?
Coronary arteries, coronary arteries.
Very good answer. They are the coronary arteries. Now, second question: how do they become diseased?
So they could be damaged. There could be a clot over there.
No, go
Damage.
before that.
Sir, there
Even
might be they might have a layer of fat.
what is that process called? I taught you that, boys. We learned about that in the digestive system as well, and we in the blood and circulation as well. Atherosclerosis,
Sir, could you
remember
repeat
that,
the
boys?
question?
Atherosclerosis, right? Now, so listen, boys, what happens that during you see atherosclerosis, that the fats they deposit on the inside walls of the arteries, and when the fats deposit, then at that time the you see this dead cells debris also deposit over there, and then you see the minerals and ions and other things present in the blood plasma, they get deposited. And because of this, what happens that the arteries they become, the lumen becomes narrow from the inside. Arteries, their lumen becomes narrow from the inside, and when the lumen becomes narrow from the inside, then you see another thing happens, that the walls of the arteries they lose the elasticity. Walls of the arteries they lose the elasticity, and and this condition is called as atherosclerosis. And in this condition, even there can become there can be thrombosis, formation of a thrombus, a blood clot, right? Or there can be embolism, or you see this blood clot can move forward and can block the arteries at some other place. So this is how you see it become diseased. Understood? And it become diseased also by eating a lot of fatty food or the sugary foods. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir, understood.
Now, suggest why a patient is put on a heart-lung machine during such an operation. I just explained this, boys. Few minutes
Sir,
ago, I
because they're
explained.
working. Sir, can I answer?
Yes.
Sir, because they're working on the heart muscle and the supply of the heart muscle. So if the heart muscle doesn't have its proper own supply, so the heart won't work. The heart, it could have a heart attack. So there's going to be no point of the surgery. That's why they transfer it to a cardiopulmonary bypass machine.
Yes. Now listen. Now I told you guys that they put the patient on the heart-lung machine because the all the cells of the body they do require oxygen and nutrients. But but the heart is not pumping, but the heart is not pumping. So as the heart is not pumping, so what do? They put this the you see person onto the heart lung machine which oxygenates the blood and pumps the blood to the whole body, because all the cells of the body, they require oxygen and nutrients. Next one. Explain how the structure of the heart enables it to pump blood into two circulations at different pressures. Yes, boys. How the heart ventricles or the heart enables the blood to be pumped into two different directions with different pressures. It's a very easy answer. Okay, boys, listen. Remember, we have learned that the left ventricle has thicker walls and the right ventricle has thinner walls. So as the left ventricle has thicker walls, so left ventricle will pump the blood with more pressure, while the right ventricle has thin walls, so it will pump the blood with the less pressure. Right, boys? So that is why two sides of the heart, they pump blood with different pressures. Understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Right? Is it difficult or easy?
Easy.
Right? Because the left ventricle has thicker walls, so it pumps blood with more force, with more pressure, while the right ventricle has thinner walls, so it pumps blood with less pressure, less force. So two sides of the heart, they are pumping blood with different pressures. Okay, boys. Have we done the end of chapter questions of chapter 10?
No, sir.
No,
We
sir.
have to do, sir.
Okay, no problem. Let's start chapter 10, end of chapter questions. Copy and complete these sentences. A microorganism that can make a person ill is called a dash. Yes, boys.
Pathogen.
Very
Pathogen.
good. Very good. Is called as a pathogen. Some types of bacteria, dash, dash, and dash are pathogens. Yes, boys. What is this? Some types of bacteria. Now, in that, what is included? Then
Microorganisms.
fungus, fungi,
Or bacteria.
protists, and viruses.
Viruses.
All right. Some pathogen can get into the body in the food and drink. The stomach produces
Hydrochloric acid.
very good hydrochloric acid, which helps to destroy these. The skin has thick layer of dash.
Dead cells.
Sir,
Very
keratin.
good. Dead cells, dead cells. Dead cells have keratin in them. Okay. That stops most pathogens getting in. However, if the skin is cut, pathogens may enter the blood. Blood dash help to
Blood
prevent
clots.
this.
Blood clot.
Clots.
Blood clot.
Very good. Blood clot helps to prevent this. Many of the pathogens that are present in the air that we breathe in are prevented from reaching the lungs because they are trapped by sticky dash.
Mucus.
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 Very good. Sticky mucus in the respiratory passages. Next question. Match each of the following terms with its description, you will need to use one of the terms twice. Now, resistance to infection by a particular pathogen obtained by having the disease or being injected with a weakened pathogen. What kind of immunity is this?
Memory cells.
Sorry?
Oh,
Passive.
it's
No.
the active immunity
Very good. Look here. I
because
have
it's
taught you what
happening
is
daily.
active
It's not
immunity.
antibodies.
When, yes, when our body produces antibodies by itself. When our body
Yes, sir.
produces antibodies by itself, right? So resistance to infection by a particular pathogen obtained by having the disease or being injected with a weakened pathogen. So here he is talking about vaccine. Here he is talking about vaccine. All right, boys.
Okay, sir.
Now, next one. Resistance to infection by a particular pathogen obtained by acquiring antibodies from another organism.
Passive immunity.
Yes, this is passive immunity because antibodies are taken from other organism. Right, boys? Next one. Chemicals on the outer surface of a pathogen that are recognized as foreign by lymphocytes. What are those chemicals called?
Antigens.
Very good,
And
boys. We talked about the antigens in this chapter and also in the last chapter as well. Remember, whenever we talk about white blood cells, lymphocytes, we talk about the antigens. Right, boys?
Yes, sir.
Right side.
A type of white blood cell that ingest and digest bacteria.
phagocytes.
Lymphocyte.
Very good. Phagocyte, not lymphocyte. Phagocytes. Right, boys?
Right.
A type of white blood cell that produces antibodies.
Lymphocyte.
Lymphocytes.
Very
Lymphocyte.
good. We learned that lymphocytes produce antibodies. Lymphocytes produce antibodies.
Antibodies.
Right, boys? Next one. A long-lived cell produced by the division of activated lymphocytes.
Memory cell. Memory cell.
Very good. Memory cells. A long-lasting type of immunity.
Antigens.
No,
So
So
active
active
immunity.
immunity.
very good. Active immunity. Next one, a protein produced by lymphocytes which attach to a specific antigen.
Antibody. No.
Very good.
Antibody. Yes. Antibody.
Very good.
Antibodies.
Antibodies. Next question. An investigation was carried out into the changes in concentration of antibody molecules in the blood of two people. Person R was given passive immunity and person S was given active immunity. The concentration of antibody molecules in the blood is shown in the graph on the next page. Now, as you guys can see that person R, now this is the concentration of antibody molecules in the blood in arbitrary unit. This is times per days. Now this is over here, injection is given in the person A, first the antibodies increased and then decreased. In person S, the antibodies, they kept on increasing, they became maximum and then they became constant. First of all, define the term antibody. Yes, boys.
Antibodies are special proteins which stick to antigens and help destroy viruses.
And
They stick to the antigens, their
You are not get
proteins,
sick with
and they are
and
produced by
they're produced
lymphocytes.
by
lymphocytes.
lymphocytes. Lymphocytes, yes.
Right, boys? So, listen, you see what you can write that antibodies are the proteins which are produced by the lymphocytes. They attach to the antigens and they make the pathogens harmless or they destroy the pathogens. All right. They either make the pathogens harmless or they destroy the pathogens. Understood, boys?
Yes, sir, understood, sir.
Next one. Explain why the concentration of antibody molecules shown in the graph decreased to 0 in person R by the day 90. It's a very easy question, boys. I have taught you this.
Sir, because
It
this
is
was passive
because
immunity,
passive
and passive
immunity does
immunity.
not last long.
Very good. Excellent answer. We learned that the passive immunity lasts for only 3 months. And why does it last for only 3 months? I have taught you because of one reason. Sorry, there are different reasons. First, one reason can be that the antibodies get used up. Antibodies they get used up. Or second reason that these antibodies they are proteins, so they get broken in the body. They get broken in the body.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, this is a bit of an off-topic question, but sir, like
Yes.
some vaccines, like if you see an MMR vaccine, it's given by injections, right, sir? But sir, if you
Yes.
see polio vaccine, it's given orally. It's an oral vaccine. So, like,
Yes.
wouldn't it be digested or something? Or like, is
No.
it?
No, no, it's not digested because the you see the polio vaccine it is inactivated polio virus.
Yes,
All
sir,
right.
weaker strain, yes.
Sorry.
A weaker strain.
Yes, not weaker strain, inactivated. All right. So different vaccines they are based on different things. That is why you see they are administered in the different way. I will explain you this inshallah in the next class. Okay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Remind me this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, boys. Take care and Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Love, yes, sir.